You know what's ironic? Most people who struggle in school aren't lazy. They're exhausted. They're putting in the hours. They're sacrificing sleep. They're saying no to friends. And still, the results barely move. I've been there. There was a time when I thought learning was just about endurance. The longer I sat at my desk, the more serious I must be. The later I stayed in them, the more disciplined I was becoming. My notebooks were packed. Every page was highlighted in 5 different colors. My desk was covered in coffee cups and empty cans, like proof that I was trying hard enough. And yet, when exams came, my mind went blank. I remember one night vividly. It was late, really late. I had been studying for hours, telling myself, just one more chapter, just one more page. On paper, I was doing everything right. Reading the textbook, you're rewriting my notes, highlighting every sentence that looked important. But deep down, there was this quiet feeling I didn't want to face. Something was off, and the results proved it. That moment forced me to confront a hard truth. I wasn't bad at learning. I was just learning the wrong way. Here's the mistake most people don't realize they're making. We confuse effort with effectiveness. If we sit long enough, we assume progress is happening. If we feel busy, we assume we're improving. If we're tired, we assume it must be working. But learning doesn't work like that. Your brain isn't a photocopier. You don't just read something and automatically store it forever. It's more like digestion. You can eat all day, but if your body can't absorb the food, nothing changes. And when you overload it, things actually get worse. This is what psychologists call the illusion of productivity. You feel productive because you're doing something, but nothing is sticking. Highlighting pages feels productive. Rereading chapters feels productive. Watching endless study with me videos feels productive. But if you're not being challenged to recall, explain, or apply what you learned, your brain stays comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of memory. That's when everything shifted for me. I stopped asking, how long did I study? And started asking, how much did I actually remember? Here's a simple way to think about it. The value of studying isn't just time spent. It's time multiplied by retention. If you study for 5 hours but only remember 10%, you didn't really study for 5 hours. You studied effectively for 30 minutes. But if you study for 1 hour and remember 50%, you just outperformed your old self by a mile and gained 4 extra hours of your life back. That realization changed everything. I started cutting my study time in half. Not because I cared less, but because I wanted more from each minute. Instead of reading, I tested myself. Instead of rewriting notes, I closed the book and asked, what do I remember? Instead of memorizing silently, I explained ideas out loud, as if I were teaching someone else. At first, it was uncomfortable. My gaps were obvious. I couldn't hide behind pretty notes anymore. But that discomfort was the signal that learning was finally happening. Passive studying feels safe. Active studying feels awkward. And growth always lives in the awkward phase. Yet I realized that studying isn't about collecting information. It's about forcing your brain to retrieve it. When you struggle to recall something, you're strengthening the exact pathway that helps you remember it later. That struggle isn't failure, it's training. So I built a new system. I stopped studying for hours on end. Instead, I worked in short, focused sessions, 30 to 60 minutes, then a short break to let my brain breathe. Before opening a book, I asked myself what I already knew. What felt weak? What needed attention? I stopped reviewing what I was already good at just to feel confident, and I started targeting what I didn't want to face. When possible, I taught the material. To a friend, to the wall, to my reflection in the mirror. If I couldn't explain it simply, I didn't understand it yet. Well, and that feedback was priceless. I focused less on notes and more on practice. Questions, problems, applications. And right before bed, I reviewed the key ideas for just a few minutes. Not cramming, just reminding my brain what mattered. Sleep did the rest. Here's what surprised me the most. As my study hours went down, my results went up. Not overnight, not magically, but steadily. I felt calmer, more confident, less burned out. Learning stopped feeling like a punishment and started feeling like progress. And that's when I understood something deeper. This wasn't just about studying, it was about systems. Relying on motivation will always fail. Relying on discipline alone will eventually exhaust you. But systems run quietly in the background. Small, repeatable actions, done consistently, without drama. That idea didn't just change how I studied. It changed how I approach growth. You don't need to become smarter. You don't need more hours in the day. You don't need superhuman focus. You need a better process. And the good news? Processes can be learned, they can be adjusted, they can be built one small step at a time. If you're studying for hours and still feel stuck, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken, you're not behind. You're just using a method that doesn't respect how the brain actually works. And once you change that, everything shifts. So here's my invitation to you. Don't try to overhaul everything tonight. Don't chase perfect routines. Just start with one change, one active habit, one honest question. Do I really understand this? Because progress doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing things differently. If this video helped you see learning in a new way, make sure to subscribe to the channel. More videos like this are coming, focused on building better habits, clearer thinking, and real personal growth.